Ms. Pounds uses the word slanderous accusations against me, and I would appreciate an investigation. I think slanderous in these terms may be a little strong. I think they were wrong, inappropriate comments, and with that, go from there.
All right. So, Mr. Fortune, then what we have to determine here is if a promulgation occurred, if there is enough new votes, there is enough evidence that something occurred, then the name will be drawn and ethics board to conduct a public hearing. The majority vote have occurred. Then in that subsection 1 above, which here again, the obligation today is simply to make file sets out a prima facie. Again, I would like to apologize to everybody that we're repeating some of this information. The first time that we've had to go process, and we're trying to make sure that we're doing everything ours. And we.
Mr. Chair, do we need to address this individually or do both at the same time?
Two allegations are too specific at that stage, a prima facie motion on each one, or do we just need example? Let's take subsection number 8. If you get 3 hands, then that's that. I would handle it. On both of these sections, violation section 8.
No, the next one on the next page.
Beneficial, and you've all got, you look under the style and turpentine courts and look back to that point of perhaps giving you some guide, be beneficial, to get to the proper parameters. Purpose and intent. This is section 2-1201. The purpose of this code of ethics is to establish ethical standards of conduct for all covered officials of Spalding County by identifying acts or actions compatible with the best interests of the community and the organization, and by requiring disclosure by such covered officials, private, financial, or other interests in matters affecting the county. Those covered officials are bound to observe in their official acts the highest standards of behavior and to faithfully discharge the duties of office regardless of personal considerations, recognizing that public interest must be their primary concern. Covered officials shall not exceed their authority or breach law or ask others to do so. I work in full cooperation with other public officials and not prohibited from so doing by law or by the officially recognized competence.
May I ask a question? That first sentence that you read about establishing a code of standards, was the last part of that sentence in matters affecting the county?
I'm sorry, which one?
The first
paragraph, the last after the...
Establish ethical code of standards.
Yes, it says, I see, yes. That last couple of lines says, best interest of the community and the organization requiring disclosure by such covered of private, financial, or other matters affecting the county. Violation would be number 8. Never engage in an official for which breach of public trust. All those that think that occurred, promptly file any disclosure required by the state of Georgia for public officials.
Mr. Vice Chair, would you please read that again, please?
Number 10, shall promptly file any disclosure required by the state of Georgia for public officials, pay any fees or penalties by the state of Georgia. All those that feel under number 10 that a violation occurred, please signify by raising.
I'd like to comment on that.
Right. Raise your hand, sir.
If I was convinced that the state of Georgia was working effectively and that office was managed effectively, efficiently, and they did not make errors, I would support this. But being a victim of them myself and the situations that I've had to go through trying to correct, I question whether their efficiency is the cause of the problem here. So
I'd also like to comment on that portion too. I've also had some difficult time in after 2010. Actually running the department, and that came down. I was board of managers meeting, and talked with us and indicated, and I mean, she had a room full, and I think Gwen might have been sitting, room full of commissioners, and they were all upset about the way this was being handled. And at that time, they wouldn't even agree to let you mail it in because I'm computer savvy, and that was a whole context. And then I agreed to mail it in, and now, like you say, they don't get these things on a timely manner. Then you mail them in, they might not even open them up for probably a week, and they still consider it as being late.
I think the whole problem here is Commissioner Ray pointed out that the state is, in the beginning they had computer problems themselves, and I know I went on there, as he did, I think Mr. Freeman did also, and tried to key into their program and get the right information, and you couldn't do it. So it left a lot of people in limbo out here and not being able to do exactly what they wanted to do because they had not done what they should have done in the beginning. So, and I guess they've got it corrected now. Of course, you know how computers are, but I think they put the cart before the horse when placing a fine on certain people because of their inability to do the right thing in Atlanta.
The next thing we need to do then, we withdraw any of,
Mark has those names and will read as he holds them and places them in the contract.
the first three names are Mr. Eddie Freeman's representative, Charles Rupp, Jackie Perkins, Harriet Evans. Next three names are Commissioner Ray's appointees, Trixie Powers, David Castile, Dr. Jesse Bradley. Final three names are Vice Chairman Gardner, Johnny McDaniel, Kathy Noble, and Slaughter. First name, Dr. Jesse Bradley, 1125 Classic Road. Kathy Noble, 876 Musgrove Road. Final name, Johnny McDaniel, 1603 Beville Drive. Next three names for the alternates. Trixie Powers, 645 Brook Circle. Jackie Perkins, 1667 Poplar Street. And the final name, Fred Edwards, 747 Steel Road.
I would like to get this in order. I would like to ask a couple questions myself about the way the process of the names have been chosen. In listening to the names, I don't know, each commissioner gave the name, but what I see happening here is I understand what has happened with the charge, and pretty much the way the ordinance is written, it would have to be, I understand how you all voted. But the emotions that came with what the charges were, with what I'm hearing you, where Spalding County is over 60,000 people. I've not heard one African American name called out. I've not heard one Democrat name called out. This issue came up basically about an election. What I see here is this thing is going to snowball into something a lot bigger than what had this panel had presented. I understand why you voted the way you voted, but what I see happening here, this is going to take on to be something a whole lot bigger than what y'all anticipate. Because what I hear, what I've heard is a set of people that would be basically biased against anything that Ms. Flowers Taylor has to say or has done. Okay? In hearing those names, if I could see where there was a mixture of people that would be open, in the end, a mixture of people might come up with the same thing, might feel the same way that you feel, or that she feels, or maybe the way that Ms. Flowers Taylor feels. But in that name, I cannot understand how you would pass 9 people, not one black person, not one Democrat in the whole pool. So what I see happening here, this is going to turn into something a lot different than what y'all anticipated it turning to. May I?
I need your name and address.
My name is Cynthia Reed Ward, and my address is 419 Powell Street.
All right, thank you. Read your I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know how she is familiar with all 9 names and what party they're affiliated and what their race is.
Ma'am, that's something
Want me
that
to
you,
tell
that's,
her?
Yeah.
first and foremost, our response, y'all can have that discussion, if you don't mind, y'all can have that discussion after we finish here, because that will be a discussion between y'all. But for purposes of what we're doing here today, we have a procedure. It's a part of the county's ordinances that we have to go by. We have no control, and the reason that I've had things repeated several times today is to make sure that what we're doing is following this procedure that was adopted by this Board of Commissioners. Each commissioner had the responsibility to put 3 names in. Some commissioners chose to put names in, some chose not to. The ordinance states that if the alleged violation occurs, if the person that makes the alleged violation is one of the county commissioners, then when the names are drawn, that commissioner's 3 names cannot be drawn from the pot. That's what the ordinance that was approved by this Board of Commissioners 2010, I think.
Correct.
Says, and that's what we're doing. And again, we're acting as somewhat of a grand jury. We're not deciding guilt or innocence. He decided that something happened, and that this panel has to look at that. So that's
I understand, and I apologize to
no apology needed. I just who will be responsible for notifying the members? They decide amongst themselves someone that will be a chair. But that would make sense if they would.
Mr. Vice Chair,
Public,
Public hearing.
the 3 of them,
he asked the same question I asked.
Okay. All right. So we have no further. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Clarify. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
may I make a comment, please?
Please.
I just wanted to clarify the comment that you just made to the lady in the audience. I personally don't feel that this board is not acting as a grand jury in the sense that the decisions that was made is being made because you feel like something happened. I think that the decision that you made is saying that you feel like I did something wrong. So I want that to be made clear. A grand jury bases their determination based on whether or not they think something was done that was not correct. Not that there was something done. There's usually always something done. So for the record, I wanted to just be on the record that the unanimous vote of this board is to convene the board for the hearing is that you feel that with that one charge, I did something wrong that damaged the county. That's all I have. Thank you.